friends, I had a very enlightening interaction with the coronavirus that I wanted to share. So I live in Los Angeles, and lockdown over here began mid-March. Around then, I randomly began to see this dark gray, misty entity that was typically following someone on the street. I felt that it was some sort of energetic manifestation of the coronavirus. One day, I had to go out and run an errand, and I had a strange feeling that something wasn't right. The feeling persisted, but I wasn't able to figure out what exactly was causing it until I came in contact with the misty entity. It was moving in towards me, and I was trying to get a read on it to better assess what it was and confirm my suspicions, but it was way too hostile for my liking, so I basically shooed it away, and that was that. Fast forward to June, a lot more businesses began to reopen, and we were experiencing a spike in cases. I had to go out for a job, and the second I got in the car, I started to feel really uneasy. I almost turned around to go back home because I wasn't sure if I had left the front door open or if something was going on with my cats or what, but my intuition told me that everything would be okay, so I continued on my way. Upon returning home, I immediately realized that something had come with me. This ill feeling suddenly hit me, and my chest began to hurt. I felt noticeably off. I scanned my energy field to figure out what exactly had latched onto it, and I saw this thick black tar-like mass that felt very similar to the misty entity, but a lot heavier and thicker. It actually took a lot of energy to fight it off, but I did it, and I went to bed, and everything was calm. The next day, I woke up to a text from my mom. She had had this feeling that I was somehow vulnerable to the virus the night before. So I called her and was like, funny story, I'm pretty sure I just fought off a COVID entity. So that was great confirmation. Later that day, I began to feel that same off feeling. So again, I scanned my energy field, and I found these little black beads that were basically remnants of the entity. I ran Reiki energy through my field, and I felt the desire to listen to 432 hertz to help release these beads. Pretty immediately, they started to vibrate faster and faster until they matched the 432 hertz frequency. At the same time, I started to feel these pangs of pain between my nasal cavity and upper chest that would basically light up in a line as each bead detached itself. I received the message that they were exposing the paths they had taken into my body so that any destruction that may have been caused could be healed. Then I felt this overwhelming sense of guilt and sadness coming from the entity. Oddly enough, it felt guilty for having attacked me. The entity itself wasn't necessarily looking for or in need of healing, but by being forced to raise its frequency, it initiated some sort of shift in it that encouraged it to make the decision to leave. It basically didn't like that it was getting called out for attacking me when I made it very clear that it was not allowed to. These complex emotions gave me the impression that the virus is conscious in a way that I had not considered earlier, and thus is capable of being energetically persuaded to leave. I found that really intriguing, so I'm curious, have you guys had any energetic interaction with the coronavirus? Let me know. I'd love to hear your story.